Lots of positives. I thought there were lots of good things. Obviously, things for us to work in terms of staying in the moments and just making sure we're switched on all the time. But I thought we've created some opportunities, so we've got to get better at making sure we finish that. We were under the pump a little bit early on with the 2 yellow cards, but we managed our way through that. And I thought going in at 14-13 was, was pretty positive. So fixed a little bit defensively in terms of defending a bit higher in the second half after probably not getting off the line quick enough. And I felt that there was a few calls that didn't go our way, which was a little bit tough and sort of didn't help with momentum, but that's kind of, you've got to just deal with that.
With him on the right, his performance?
I thought he was outstanding today. I thought he was exceptional in terms of the way that he played and led the team, and I thought it was showed in terms of what he's capable of doing, and I think I'd like to think he's only going to get better as a player and a leader within the squad as well.
Does that make your decision to captaincy easier or harder for Australia?
I will have a think about that when we talk. Just try and finalise the squad, and talking with the other coaches, and before we announce that on Monday.
Kieran Azarati went off. You've got a couple of tight head injury problems. How are you looking for that? First of all, him, and also Henry Thomas and Dylan Lewis. How are they?
Yeah, just spoke to Prav physio, and he's just going to reassess that and just see where all those players are. A couple of players with a couple of back issues, and Henry with a foot issue as well. So, we just need to make sure that that assessment gets done so we can have a clear picture of where we think some of them are.
Dewi, what was your assessment of
that? Don't think many would have given us that first half. So a lot of positives to take, but obviously, we can't be happy with a scoreline like that. This group and where we want to go, there's no excuses for that for us. So a lot of positives, but a lot of learning to take obviously into summer tour and learning that we have to do quickly as well.
Will South Africa everything expected?
Yeah, you know what's coming with a South African team, especially this one. They've proven they're a world class outfit for the past 8 years, double world champions. That don't come easily. But I think we fronted up well. We showed up in that physical battle. But that last 30-20 minutes just too much for us, and that's something that we've got to work on is being in the fight for 80 minutes.
Well, you named the squad, I think maybe Monday. One person we know won't be there is Sam Parry now. I heard your words before the game. I just wanted to ask you, when he left the squad, what your initial response was?
What my initial response was?
Yeah.
He left on Thursday, was it? Monday, yeah.
What thought in terms of not?
I was surprised, yeah.
Why was that?
I was surprised he left the squad, yeah.
Do you know why he left the squad? What was it?
He didn't talk to me. I don't. You need to talk to Sam. He hasn't spoken to anyone. I think I understand his agent's been pretty vocal and stuff, and which is a little bit disappointing. Look, when Sam came in the week before, I was straight up with him. Told him with the situation that he was in the squad, and we'd put a release out to all the players that we'd picked a squad of 37 and we were only taking 34 on tour, and I just wanted to be straight up and front him as a player. I'd like to know where I actually stood, and so I'd said that he was initially coming for Elliott with the injury, so there was clear on that. I said, look, I don't want to stuff you around. You've been brilliant for us when you've come in the past, and we'll just see what happens with that. So, I'm not sure how I was disrespected him there. I talked to on Monday about competition within the squad. I thought there was some real competition with the hookers. Didn't mention them by name, but I didn't want to leave Sam out. I was with Sam as well. So if I'd upset him, there was no intention to upset the player, and so I just would have rather him come and see me and say that the way he felt, and there was definitely nothing from me in terms of that I was trying to disrespect him or upset him. I just wanted to be honest and upfront with him. So, and I think that would have been hopefully a better approach, that if he'd come and said that rather than just walking off, really. But look, there's, I suppose, you understand that, you know, people take things a little bit differently, and you just got to deal with that. And whether he's, you know, had any regrets, I know he's good friends with Gareth Thomas, and Gareth sort of contacted him straight away and said, look, just get on the phone and ring, and, you know, hopefully we could have sorted that out.
Or down the line, is the door still open for him?
What's that?
Is the door still open for him in the future to potentially come back?
In the future, yeah. Look, I'd never close the door on a player. You know, whether he has any regrets about his decision. Sometimes people make impulsive decisions, and you know, players as well. So, you know, I'm the first person to be able to forgive someone in terms of you know, put their hand up. I don't get everything right and make mistakes, and so you've got to be a little bit, have some compassion somewhere, that if it was impulsive, you know, considering the next day Elliot pulled out with an injury, and you know, he would have been on the plane. So whether he has any regrets about that, I'm not too sure. But
Warren, your second row problems are kind of well documented in terms of availability and numbers, but how do you think your two boys got on today against two, you know, world champions?
I thought they did really well. I thought Penn Carter put himself around the place physically, but a couple of good tackles, and no, I thought they both acquitted themselves really well. Yeah, and I know it's a massive challenge for them, and a big step up for those two, and they definitely have. I thought they acquitted themselves in terms of going out there and giving everything that they had. So, you know, which is a real positive from our point of view.
And Dewi mentioned that perhaps not many gave you a chance today. Do you feel more optimistic? Do you feel more confident from what you've seen today about going on the tour?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we've got to identify certain areas where we can get a bit better. Probably some of the impact off the bench in terms of them being accurate. Because it's about nailing those big moments, and when you nail those big moments, then you get some reward out of it. And we probably were a little bit guilty of, when there were a few opportunities to for us on attack, we weren't quite accurate enough, and even defensively we got caught out. We just probably switched off a little bit, haven't reacted and allowed them to sort of make a couple of breaks. So those are the sorts of things that we'll work hard on trying to address and making sure that we are.
Is that just experience?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely experience, and so, you know, I think there's a lot of those players that were out there today would have learnt a lot from it, and they're probably saying that, you know, I'd love to play South Africa again next week, because fixing up some of the things that they know they can improve on and be better at.
Corey Hill, sorry, it's Corey Hill fit, just one second. That was all. Corey Hill, how is he? Because he missed this weekend.
Yeah, he's up and he's been running and stuff, and you know, we could have risked him. Possibly we could have got out there today, but there wasn't a point of him breaking down. Just needed a few extra days, and so he's got next week, and then before we arrive in Australia on Friday.
Just on the decisions that you mentioned, Warren, was the pass for the didn't try one of those that you kind of wondered about?
Yes, just looked a bit forward to me in terms of the hands, and then I thought the penalty against Tame Plumtree, he's made a tackle, he's rolled east to west, which is there. Dowie's on the ball, and you know, it's a penalty against us. And I'd question that little kick at the end of the game where the referee said he's trying to catch the ball. Well, if you're trying to catch the ball, you do that with two hands, not with one hand. So those are the little things that were a bit frustrating from our point of view. You know, considering that we had to deal with a couple of yellow cards and things, but that's, you see that, you know, when you've got the world champions in front of you, they sometimes tend to get a couple of calls go that way. We've just got to deal with that, and we've just got to make sure that, you know, focus on ourselves and be as accurate as we can we can possibly be. So I thought the yellow card on Aaron Wainwright, from where we're looking at I can't see where he's touched the ball. So and that's ended up being a penalty try. Just it was a little bit, couldn't quite see the difference between the try that was just allowed for us. It looked to me a very similar situation. So that's.
And thoughts on the Mapimpi try? Did you think that ball drifted forward?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Warren, it's 7 losses in a row now, and we know the plan in terms of letting a lot of new players, but come the summer, I don't think Wales haven't gone past 8 losses for quite some time. How important is it? I know you're building in the summer, but how important is it to get a win for these players?
I don't think we're not focusing on that at the moment. We're just focusing on getting better as a squad. Obviously, I understand about how important results are, so I'm quite happy for that pressure to be on me, not the players. If you get too focused too much on just the result, then sometimes it can be added external pressure rather than for us wanting the players to get better as individuals, get better at playing at this level and the intensity and making better decisions. And it's a lot. And I think it was one of the things that I thought was really effective for us in the World Cup, where we didn't focus on, our whole priority wasn't about winning. Our focus in the World Cup was on, let's just become a really hard team to beat, and the results will take care of itself. So, I think there are times when, you guys like to add that pressure in from the outside.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say test rugby is about winning.
100%. I agree with you. So, yeah. So.
Okay, we're going to leave the English questions there, and we will have question yn Cymraeg.
Dewi, beth yw'r tymadau wedi'i gêm?
Anodd I gymryd, falle. Ddim yn credu mae'r sgôr yn dangos y gêm yn gywir. Y hanner gant yna, 14-13, pwynt I ffwrdd o'r pencampwr y byd yn y hanner canta, ond just gormod da nhw yn yr ail hanner yna. Ond fel nes I dweud, ddim yn credu mae'r sgôr yn dangos y gêm yn gywir yna.
Chi wedi sôn bod rhaid chi chwarae tîmog fel De Africa'n gyson mwyn cyrraedd y safon, a beth chi wedi dysgu wedi'r gêm heddi?
Ie, wrth gwrs, ni'n chwarae'r gêm ma I chwarae'r gorau yn y byd. Dyna beth ni fel tîm a fel chwer eisiau mesur ein hunan yw'r pencampwr y byd. Felly, I allu chwarae'r tîmau ma a dysgu o colled fel hyn. Mae hynna mynd I bod yn gwych ar gyfer ni yn mynd mewn I Australia nawr, ond y pethau na mae rhaid I ni dysgu'n gyflym. Does dim llawer amser I ni fel grŵp, so mae rhaid ni dysgu'n gyflym.
Oedd y frwydr gorfforol yn y 6 blad o'r gêm erbyn Ffrainc, falle yn y cwarter ola pan o'n nhw'n tynnu ffwrdd. Beth amdano hwnna, chi'n teimlo chi yn y frwydr, falle trydydd cwarter yna oedd y gwaniaeth?
Ie, fel nes I sôn, maen nhw'n dod a pencampwr y byd off y fainc. Maen nhw di fod gyda'n gilydd am 10 mlynedd, 8 mlynedd. So maen nhw'n sownd, maen nhw'n ymwybodol o beth maen nhw gyda. Ni'n tîm newydd. So mae hwnna'n... Mae llawer I ni ddysgu yn y peth yna, ond mae just am fod yn deallus yn y cwarter ôl yna. Chi'n dechrau chase o'r gêm a ni'n gwneud falle couple o decisions sy'n helpu nhw allan a ddim ni. So, fel nes I dweud, mae llawer o dysgu o'r gêm na.
Jyst I gloi chi'n mynd I Australia, chi wedi colli 7 o'r bron nawr. Beth yw'r ymdimlad o ran y pwysau sy'n tyfu a os rhaid chi ennill un o'r gemau prawf na mas na?
Ni moyn ennill pob gêm. Ni ddim yn chwarae'r gemau I colli gemau. Ond cyn hyn, nes ni ennill 6 ar y bwng. So, mae'n hawdd I roi negeseuon gwael a ni wedi colli 7 yna. Ond pobl yn anghofio beth ni wedi gwneud cyn hyn. So ie, ond mae'n bwysig i ni ennill ar gyfer y grŵp, ar gyfer pobl adre sy'n rhoi cymorth i ni. Ond ie, bydd ni'n mynd mas i Australia yn edrych i ennill, ie.
Diolch yn fawr.
Cheers.
Thank you.